Hello, happy Friday. What a week. It seems like it's been forever since last Monday, but it's only been the normal number of days in a week, shockingly. Right, so today we're going to look at a layered look paper and see how we can scrapbook with that. Spoilers, it's going to involve adding more layers to the layered look. Hope that's okay. Let's get right to the desk so you can see everything I've made with the March kit so far, including what I made on Monday with the help of my special guest. March, why do I keep saying March? It's April. It's definitely April. It's not even the first week of April. The April kit. Thank you. Here we go. Right. And so we started here with a diagonal bit of embellishment, 1 4x6, 2 columns. Then we did 3 rows plus a bunch of punches, almost solid colors like textured solids on a pattern background. 2 3x4s on that one, 2 4x6 here with more writing space, so we put it on a ledger paper and used cut aparts to create this border along the bottom. 2 4x6 here, tucking it behind a layered look paper, and then building more up to the layer that was printed on the paper in the top corner. And then this is the one that he made on Monday in Monday's Live with 1 4x6 for his birthday, and then bullet pointed journaling to make a Right Now page for him, just like I make one for myself every year. So we have that all done. So that's everything I've made with the April, not March, April kit. And you can find links to all of the April supplies and next month's supplies, the May kit, in the description box, of course. Now, we have these 2 papers that we have not pulled out at all yet. And when I put these in, we said that this should definitely be a page for starlight photos. So I've got 2 4x6 starlight photos from this month that I think are really nice. Definitely want those in the album. 2 different shows taken from 2 different seats, but both were last week. I think it looks better this way because we've got that eye line of him facing that way. So not exactly the same colors because obviously the stage lighting is more pink and purple here and more blue here. But I think we can make that work. I think we're going to need to bring in a little bit more color to what's already here. So this is 49 & Market's Starlight Dreams collection, which that just works perfectly. We have some chipboard pieces from this same collection plus these journaling cards on a cut apart. So we're going to start with all that, but then we're going to add in a few things that are not from this collection, and I think we're going to bring in this kind of pinky purpley color scheme into the navy blue, and we're going to make all sorts of layers like that. Now, I think, tell me those of you who are here, good morning, is this little bit of sunshine here a problem, or is it coming out okay on your screen? The little monitor I get is quite small. So for here, it looks okay. If it gets too bright, I can close the curtain, but it is lovely to have the sunlight while it's here. So I'll go with that unless you say it's disturbing the way it looks on your screen. All right, let me do my speech and let's get scrapping. Hello, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my #advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, thinking about coming back to craft, all of it. You are so welcome here, and you can find all the links that you might need in the description box with this video. So that includes this month's supplies, that's April, and next month's supplies, that's May. Let's have a quick look to see if there's any specials happening over if you want to get May's goodies. So if you're using the link to shop for the May kit, today we've got free Astro Paste in a very lovely sky blue, free 4x6 transfer sheet. I think that's like rub-ons. a free stamp set if you spend $30. And there was one more. And a free magic mat for your die cutter if you spend $55. So you got all those extras you can add on if you're happening to go for the May kit. Oh, Auntie Caffeine says, what would happen if you pre-recorded your speech? Oh, yeah, I could. I just don't want to. Right. The other things you'll find in that description box are links to where you can find me online. That includes the Facebook group, my Instagram, and my website where you can take classes. I have classes aplenty right now. So there's a new class that starts the end of next week. It starts April 30th, and it's all about using old stash. You do not need to have the specific old stash that I have, but you can use any stash of any age. We're going to be talking about just looking at older things in a new way, and we'll have lots of process videos, and along the way we will talk about, you know, I'm using this paper, you might have things like this, so there'll be lots of ways to use that information without having to just clone everything and use the same supplies. And I'm in the middle of the 1-2 punch, which has new videos tonight, by the way. Which is a class about using your shape punches that you might have bought and then kind of forgotten about. So you can get a little bit more from the stuff that you've already bought with either of those. That's everything, I think. Let's scrapbook. All right. So let's start with a little bend and snap. So we have got 2 4x6 photos, which interestingly is not going to be the magic size of this. Is just kind of similar rather than identical. But that's okay with layering because we want room to add more stuff in. Right. Let's have a little look here. Oh, one of the questions that came up in the week with classes, do you need to be there live? No, you don't. Okay, you are all good. You can watch everything at a time that suits you. It's absolutely fine that way. All right, so if I were to do my normal block of 2 4x6, I mean, it fits, but we do end up, this box is actually a little wider than it is taller in terms of the frame that's printed there. But the good bit is I'm not losing some wonderful part of the paper underneath there. I do just have an open space. So I think the first thing I need to do is mat these, and I think I need to bring in that little bit of red, don't you? So let's grab, now in the freebie that came the day the kit went live, there is a red in here, but I think it's going to be the wrong shade. But I'm going to show it to you just in case. Is that the red or the orange? Oh, why did I think there was a solid that was that tone? That's way too orange. No, I've imagined that red exists in here. It doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to just add in a scrap of red that will map these. Let's go to the scrap basket first. What have I got? Anything that's big enough for that? I think this is just too short. Oh. Could it be just right? It kind of is. I only need a tiny bit. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so let's, is that a straight edge? Yes. Oh, sorry, Unicorn. I'm sorry that you're not well. Well, lovely to have you here, but sorry that you're poorly. Thank you, Rebecca. And on to caffeine. Yeah, it's kind of funny to be able to scrapbook the photos in real time for 2 reasons. When he was in Les Mis, they don't encourage bow photos And as a parent, I was sitting in a spot that's quite far away. So my bow photos were normally like the top of his head. And they just bow and off they go. In this show, and we aren't allowed to say anything about the show while they're still under contract in that show. In this show, we don't have quite as strict of rules about not being able to say say that he's in it. Obviously, I can show you that he's in it. And that you can take photos through the whole Megamix finale number. And aside from sitting in this very front section that's right near the like it's actually a cutout in the stage, I can sit anywhere. He's given me a few places that I shouldn't sit. But it means that sometimes I can book a seat where I am really quite close. And tonight I'm going to sit in the one section I've never sat in. So do you see there's like people up here? It's a side view, but it's up at the top. And I've never sat there because normally I buy whatever is left at the last minute that they've marked down. And I'd never seen a marked down ticket up there because there aren't as many seats. So especially the ones that are close to the stage, there's a lot of interaction. So fans who have seen the show multiple times really love sitting there because then the skaters are like right next to them. So I had never seen a discounted ticket up there. And then yesterday I was just checking because some friends were coming in and I was like, wait, there's a discounted ticket at the trackside. I'm going to sit there for the first time ever. So I'm actually going to be the other side of the stage. But I've never sat up there. I'm very excited. I'm not in one of the ones that's right next to the stage because that would weird him out. That's one of the ones that he says, nope, you're not allowed there. Okay. I followed the rules. His rules. Okay, so I think, yes, we go ahead and do that, but I'm going to leave adhesive so that, like, not put the adhesive close to the edge here because see this white space in the layering? That's where I'm going to add more stuff. So let's do the adhesive closer to the center. It's got plenty, so it's going to stay secure, but then I can do all the tuckies I might like on those sides. So I am centering this, and I've watched where that white sketchy border is here and tried to center top to bottom here. So the white line is just above and below, but I have a little bit more room side to side. Yeah. Rebecca says, I wish they do cheaper tickets locally when they're left. Always thought it would be better to have a full theater. And it is there's a really interesting phenomenon versus a theater that's out on its own compared to in the West End where the theaters are all really close. So some of the shows are always sold out or have like fewer than a dozen seats left. But there are others that don't get that full. And if you go into the box office of a theater really last minute in the West End, like say 20 minutes before, you can quite often just say, do you have any bargains available or whatever? And you'll quite often get something they want to fill toward the front so that the front always looks full. So you might get the back row price to be up toward the front. We did that recently to see his friend be Matilda. We were trying to book on the train there because it was last minute that we could go. We were trying to book on the train and all the seats were in threes. And a lot of the websites will not let you leave a single seat. So to get the bargain price, we were going to have to go to the box office and I just said, look, we're looking at these up here, and they're all in the same price bracket, but they're all in threes and we need two, so it won't let us book online. And the guy said, oh, no problem. I got you. And so he gave us the price of what was the back row upstairs. But because it was only a few minutes to the show, when he printed the tickets out, he didn't even say a word. He gave them to me. We went out the door and I looked at them. We were in the 5th row downstairs. So he's filling the spaces that are, those are like 200-pound seats. And we got them for the price of the cheapest seats in the house. So there we are. But when it's a theater somewhere out of that central bit, they often don't give you those discounts because they know you can't go anywhere else. Like if you've come to them, they're like, oh, they want to see the show. So they often then don't discount any lower than the cheapest seat, where I'm always like, I'm here if you've got just one single seat. No, not on this show. No discount. And a few times on Les Mis where they would often have sections blocked off for like coach parties or tourist groups. And if a flight was late, like the day that all the planes went down because of a computer error, Les Mis suddenly had so many empty seats because a lot of tourists come to that show their first night in London. And so I went to sit in my normal up in the rafters seat next to the spotlight operator. And when I came in, the guy on the box office went, I got loads of empty seats that are sold, but they're not coming. So where do you want to sit? And I didn't have to pay any extra. So that was kind of a special night. Right. Let's start adding stuff in. Where are the chipboard pieces for this? Have I put them in, in my handy organizer here, but then they're smaller, so they've fallen down. Let's not go any further without them. I'm going to come over here so I don't knock everything over. Yeah, we don't get any discounts. But sometimes this show lately has done like a special, we think we want to fill the house up on this day, and they'll just knock everything in the whole house down to 45 pounds. Which is a lot cheaper than some of the seats are normally. So it's exciting to find. They don't really advertise it. You just have to look and you're like, oh, wait. Okay, so these are all the pieces from the kit. Papers. Could bring in, I've still got pink, so I can bring in some of the pink from that. But where is that gorgeous set of chipboard pieces? Oh, and I have my wood grain and I have books. Here's the chipboard. So next week we need to do wood grain and books. I might pose a picture for the books because WB has been reading up a storm and haven't really scrapbooked anything about that. Fabulous. Right, I'm just going to bring it all out now. Let's see what we got. Oh, and there's a little cutout sheet here if you want to use the packaging. It's not matte though. I can feel it's glossy. A little bit glossy. You can cut those out with a punch, it says. Okay, let's see what we have. Justine says the seats I'm not allowed to sit in are because he doesn't want to see the whites of my eyes. You're probably onto something there. It's because quite a bit of the audience is lit in this show. And so he doesn't like it if he feels like I'm completely lit up. Right. What is he reading these days? Okay, so he has been reading, he's been keen on the Who Let the Gods Out series, so he's a few books into that. Then what did he just read Skellig, which he zoomed through, loved, which was really funny. He picked that from we have one of those little libraries in our neighborhood where it's just like a box and you can come leave a book, take a book, whatever you like. And I'd gone to I took like a huge number of books that he had grown out of and filled it up at the beginning of the Easter holidays. I went to put one in this morning, wondering if there would be any room because I had packed it so much. Every single one of those children's books was gone. So I'm glad that that worked as planned, that kids got something to read during Easter. Anyway, so when we had dropped off, he was like, oh, there's a copy of Skellig. And my friend was talking about Skellig. I'm going to get Skellig and read it. And Skellig was one of the very first books I taught when I was teaching English here because it was on the National Year 7 curriculum at the time. And so that was really quite sweet that he enjoyed that one because that was my teacher training. Okay, so we have got, I think we definitely have to have the Wonder. All these little ones, we can come to them in a minute. Okay. So yeah, he's read Skellig, Who Let the Gods Out. Oh, the book he's reading now is called The Kid Who Came from Space or something like that. Oh, Skellig is a really interesting one because it's very, very British. But I don't think it's ever had any sort of appearance in America. It's by David Almond. It has a sequel called My Name is Mina. yeah, it's about a kid who finds someone or something in the garage, and what happens thereafter. Yeah. Okay. What are we gonna call this? So, cursive words here. Not curse words, but cursive words. I just feel like the subtitles are gonna love that one. Spirit, thankful, lovely moments, always, dreamer, bright memories, and we have 2 ands if we need to put things together. What do we do? We can combine them with anything here. Oh, it's Anzac Day. Of course it is. I forgot about that. Sorry. Happy celebrating those of you on that side of the world. Okay. Eat some good cake and have nice coffee. That's an appropriate way to celebrate when you're over here, right? Because our Australian contingency in London is responsible for the revolution of good coffee. Oh, Sarah feels something like stars and dreams. So we could do that. I need something plural. The only thing plural is wings. That doesn't work. Wonder and sparkle. Or sparkle and wonder. Yeah? We could do that? Okay. Or we could do sparkle and dream. Singular. Like verbs. Okay, let's go back there. Now. Better in the darker color? I wondered if too much navy was too dark, but I feel like the navy is easier to read. I know it's exactly the same lettering. Okay. Now, let's look at these smaller ones for some confetti. So we can have a shine bright in there somewhere, or not confetti, just tuckies. We could have a chase your dreams. Like this one. Keep your eyes on the stars, or you're 1 in a million. Keep calm and shine. Actually, I'm going to use this keep calm and shine on because he's just recently arrived at the keep calm trend, you know, that's from before he was born, both times around. And he's been jokingly rewriting the keep calm and, so that'd be appropriate to put on there now. That one. Okay. Maybe even that one, but I've got, oh, let's do that one instead of this one. Now, that's 2 in this color, 2 in that color. There's only 1 in this color. There's that one. That's that one or that one. I think I need smaller, so let's go there. Okay. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I don't think he would like that one. think he'd feel it was too young. So we will see what we can do. Okay, so we've got those pieces. Let me see. I don't have a circle punch this size that's handy. But see how this is in there. So let's see what we can do. Let's cut out the moon on a page that's filled with stars. Okay, I'm going to cut out 3 of these. I know it says I could punch it out, but my punch is slightly bigger than that. So I'm just going to cut it with scissors. I know I could also die cut it, but this will be quicker. So let's just do that. Auntie Caffeine got her sister a maternity shirt that says, "Keep calm and carry the baby." Amazing. So WB, some of his friends have dance bags that say "Keep calm and dance on," things like that. But the funny part is that when somebody is giving that to a kid his age, the original posters are from World War II. Then they had this trendy resurgence in the earlier 2000s. Like, so I want to say I had it on my wall in like 2009, somewhere around there. Maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. But that sort of era. Not in his lifetime. He's born 2014. The packaging that I'm cutting is these die cuts. It's that. Okay, the chipboard pieces. So he has never seen the era of everybody having "Keep calm and carry on" their wall. So he just thought it was a dance thing. That "Keep calm and dance on" was like telling people, you know, when you get stressed out, you don't dance as well. So just keep calm and keep dancing. If you miss the steps, just keep going, which works. But he had no idea that it was like a parody. And so when I explained, and I said, well, it was the same, the original is the same era as Loose Lips Sink Ships and Careless Talk Cost Lives. And he was like, "Careless Talk Cost Lives, I know that one. That one's in my history book at school." I'm like, okay, we have a context point now. I said, right. So that was a real thing. And then they got pulled into some kind of decor trends. And then the parodies came. And I said, like, I have a print that says "Keep calm and eat cupcakes" that somebody gave me as a gift in my baking cake era. My baking cake era. I have 10 dozen cakes to take to school today. I have already taken 6 dozen. Yeah. Joanna has one that says, "I can't keep calm, I'm a teacher." Yes, there's like a parody for everything with that trend. And so now he gets it. But it was really funny because he's like, "I'm pretty sure all my friends that have the bag don't realize it's a parody. We all just think that it's a dance thing." So that's kind of funny. I've seen, scrapbooking things that say "Keep calm" and "Scrap on" and "Craft on" and things like that. It definitely exists. Okay, so we've got to start to the layering here. Now, these layers of flowers, I could do what we did on the ledger layout. No, it wasn't the ledger. It was, the one that had the camera. So I could do this and cut round and tuck things in if you wanted the floral to go on top of your photo. And in truth, both of these corners would play well to that because this is somebody else who's also, that's their phone, they're filming the Megamix. And this is a skate that doesn't show the rest of the skater. So I could cut those florals and put them over the top, but I'm not going to do that today. My hands are too tired from icing 10 dozen cupcakes, and I know that my scissor work would not be that great today because I can feel it in my fingers. Feel it in my fingers. Anyway, so the trick is if you don't want to cut that and have it over the top is to make sure that your layers then bridge this gap between the empty place here and the printed part, the floral in this case, yeah? So that's why I've put 2 of these straight into the floral layer, because if we're layering stuff on top of them, then it's not going to be really obvious that there's something that goes right behind that corner, because there's going to be lots of layering there and the photos are on top. Make sense? And then I want 3 areas of embellishment, so I've taken the other one up to this corner. All right. Now, I wanted to bring in some pink to work with this color. I do have this whole sheet of pink, but I think I've also got other pieces here. So I have this little journaling piece here. What do I have in the cut aparts? Oh, don't mix those up. I've got my offcuts from Scrap and Learn here, and I don't want to mix them up with the kit because I need the right supplies for both projects. Okay. So then have this little stack here. Okay. You could add more layers in floral-wise with this. Did anybody else get this freebie that day? Should I do some florals with that? Could do. Okay, what pink pieces do we have in here? We got a little pink tab there we can use. Remind me that we have one that says Book Lovers Club when I go to use that book paper. I know that I picked them on purpose because of that, but I have a feeling I'll get carried away and I'll forget. Oh, here we are. Okay. I've got a small, Auntie Caffeine says, I have a small screen and I'm having trouble reading the photo to the left. Oh, that is his hair. Yeah, so his hair is, so it's down at the bottom, but it's half up. So he has like a little mini bun here, and because he's running, it's kind of bouncing up. So yeah, that's his hair. The front of it all pulled back into this little mini bun at the top, but then the rest is down. Yeah, there's 2 long-haired boys in the show, and one wears the other one has slightly longer hair, and his is all up in a bun. WB's is half up in a bun, and then the girls wear pigtails. And then there's one boy with a traditional haircut who is the only one who's quick to get ready, because the others, even if they're not going on, because the hair takes the longest of getting ready, when they're on standby, everybody goes to have their hair done straight after warm-up. And if the boy with short hair is in, then obviously it takes half as long because they only have one kid to get his hair done or her hair done. It's kind of a running joke that, you know, the long-haired boys, if you just cut your hair, then things would be quicker to get ready. Okay, that did not give me a huge amount of pink, in case you didn't notice. Okay, so we're going to need to get more pink from somewhere else, but we do have one tab here. These are the tabs I'm using up here. Let's go to this sticker sheet. I feel like we can make that camera work in this color scheme. Let me put something out so I can collect stickers that are going to work. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, maybe I do make this work here. I'm just going to use part of it, I think. And I think, yes, I think we do try the die cut set. All right. So if I take the guest check part off here, I think the bottom is okay to leave, although then it's going to be white. I'm like, no, I like that. Okay. I'm going to cut this in half. So we can bring this into these layers. And I can line that pink up inside the white line there. Then I can take this one. Now, I don't really want to bring in that very different style of floral, but I can I can put it upside down. It's not a problem. And then I just have this little bit of pink edging there. Then I didn't really want the hot pink right against that spot, so I can bring this in. I could go further down here, or I could bring it over to here. I think I might actually like it behind the pink, but that was a sticker. It wasn't a die cut. Uh-oh. Okay. There we are. Okay, so we got a little tab there. That one's going to go nicely there. This one underneath, why is this looking wonky? I think that one there underneath the title. That one along here. Now, I need to figure out where I'm writing. Because this would be the most sensible place to put writing. Let's go to that cut apart. Auntie Caffeine decided she's got to get crafting. Lovely. Okay, so if I'm going to this side, I want one where, oh, is there anything else that has the stars? There are a few, but this is the most obvious stars. The feathers will get covered up because I just want kind of that half. That's my winner. Oh my goodness, I was looking at what's new in the scrapbook.com inventory in prep for what we're gonna pick for the next month for the June kit. And I have no idea the status of my collection. I did some investigating this week. It's not my happiest of topics, so I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna keep calm and carry on because that's all I can do. It's completely out of my hands. I'm not particularly happy about any of it. On we go. We're gonna see what happens. Anyway, so when I did the May kit, there was hardly anything new that came out in April. So when I was looking at stuff to put in kits, I'm like, there's nothing to put in. What am I gonna do? And it turns out that there's been loads in April. There was nothing that came in March to put in the May kit. This always gets confusing. There's been loads that's come in this month throughout April. So I am spoilt for choice for next month, even though I don't have any dates on when my collection comes in. So we'll do my collection whenever it turns up. But yeah, I got lots to pick from because there's been a massive dump of product from Echo Park, a massive dump of product from Simple Stories. There's new collections from 49 and Market. It's like, okay, now how do I bring it down? Last month I was struggling, how do I fill a kit? And this month I've got too much. No, Flower Emporium has been out for like 5 days. It's not been in a kit yet. No. So we will get there. But yeah, it's brand new. It's not been in a kit. It hasn't been out long enough. I'm just gonna, in terms, Joanna, thank you. Joanna says, keeping calm is fine. I check every single day to see if your collection is in. Thank you so much. And I've never been this cheeky about it before, but in this circumstance, this time around, I'm going to be cheeky, and I'm just going to say, you know what? Pretty please buy it through an affiliate link. I'm going to leave you to that. Pretty please buy it through an affiliate link. That's it. So there we are. Okay, this is definitely going to need more layering in there, but I have now got a journaling space. That's fine. I think we bring in the camera and we cut some flowers. So let's get that die cut set. So I could bring in some pink. Yeah, I think I need kind of a little bit of both shades of pink that are here. I know I'm mixing red and pink, but it's all here in the photo, so I think it's going to work. Okay, so let's get ye old die cutter. Hello, Sophia. Dun, 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 dun. Right. We have got one revolution. And okay. Let's get one stack of cutting mats. Which was under here. There we are. I did get one of the new ones and I need to swap it out because mine has seen better days. But I mean, it's still cuttable. But I will swap to the new one that I got as a freebie one day. And then you could use the pink background paper that's in this kit. I'm just looking at scraps in case there's something that I could do to use up something that's already cut into so that we've still got some full backgrounds for next week. So I want a light pink and a bright pink. Okay, there's a light pink. And if I got a bright pink, surely somewhere. Here's a bright pink. Okay, so we've got light and bright. Okay, so let's chop that. Now, I think I'm just going to put everything down and cut it. In fact, I can do it this way. I put everything down and cut it once in each color. Oh, come on. I do not like this. That hurt. Crafting should not be painful. Okay. It's just the first one. I don't know why it was so super stuck, but it was. All right, so we're gonna cut all of these. And then little ones will fit in here in the gaps. Hello, Amy. Oh, Joanna says, you must be so proud of WB. I was struck on Monday's live how unaffected he is. I am very proud of him. And I love that he is still a very, I mean, normal is a weird word, but yeah, he just does his own thing. And he has normal school friendships and all of that sort of stuff. I think he has a really good balance of how many friends he has that are and are not performers. Because you need some friends, you need some very good friends who are performers who understand the highs and lows. because I think it's very lonely. We know some performing kids who don't socialize with other stage children. And I understand that they can be very high energy. They can be very different personality types, and that there might be that. But also, if you don't have any friends who have been there in that situation of, you know, a show goes wrong, or you get notes that you maybe don't agree with and you thought you were doing your best and it hasn't worked out or whatever, right? You need people who have done this. Like, rehearsal periods are very intense in that you do a whole bunch of work where you're only mostly hearing what you still have to do. You're not hearing the reward because there's no applause yet. Yeah. There's a lot of this kind of the lead up to can be really tough. And so you need friends who have been there and understand. He's got a few friends that he's very close with that, you know, you have a bad show, you call your mate, you send a text on the way home going, hey, did you have a show today? I need to talk. And it really does help them a lot to realize, you know, it's live theater. You don't get a second take. You just keep going, and tomorrow's another day, and you do a new show. But equally, you don't really want all of your friends to be wrapped up in that world. You need to have people who are just doing normal kid stuff too. And somehow he has just ended up with a great balance of that and a nice bit of the kids that are not performers are very supportive of the performing. So they might not be going to stage school or whatever, but they come to see him at the theater and things like that. All of that, I could not have asked for it to go better than it has, because he just has a really good balance of friends in his life. And he's far better at maintaining friendships than I was as a kid. Yeah, he's the natural extrovert of the family. Needs to be around people. Okay, that was the light pink. Now let's do the brighter one. And then we're going to work out how they go together, because I don't know. I haven't used this die cut set. And I don't use many things like this. When is the last time I die cut florals? Who knows? Not I. It's not a common occurrence here. So there we go. Jean says she's having trouble keeping track of the days with Good Friday, Anzac Day, and all these holidays. And we have a bank holiday on this coming Monday. WB had a show Wednesday night, so we're coming home super late Wednesday night. But once I pick him up, I don't check email. It turned out that his piano teacher, who he normally sees on Monday, but he hadn't that week because it was a holiday, his piano teacher had emailed very late in the evening to say, because we missed this Monday and we're going to miss a Monday coming up, I'm coming in tomorrow to teach a makeup lesson. Did I see this before he went to school? No, I did not. Did I send him with piano book? No, I did not. Had he practiced the night before? No, he had not. So I had to send her a message being like, sorry if my kid was a waste of space in piano. Hopefully he was not too out of it. But he said they didn't waste their time, but I'm not sure if it was the best lesson ever. So he has a plan for next time. But yeah, this time of year, anything that's on a Monday gets tricky, but also the Fridays. Okay. Because if you're not in this country, we have 2 bank holidays that are Mondays in May, just for fun. So, okay. All right, hold on. Let's stick them that way. All right. Punch that one out.
I think what might confuse this is the old portfolio, because everything uploaded to the old portfolio.
See, die cutting Is it quicker than cutting all this by hand? Yes. Is it a quick process? No. It's not really. I mean, it's not the most time consuming, but this is just me cutting it. I don't even know what we're going to do with it yet. We're going to figure that out as we get to it. Who knows? Who knows? And do I need to cut a third color? I'm going to turn the dyes over in a second and see. I was trying to just do the pink. Okay, right, that's all of the metal pieces. Let's get those all stuck there. And surely there was an envelope that these were in. So that I don't accidentally lose them or cut myself. Okay. Now, the packaging definitely uses more than 2 colors. Let's see what we can do. There's the package. Okay, get them in here. Karen is here but half asleep. That's fine. I think that fits the vibe of some of us don't know what day of the week it is. Just have a rest. It's all good. Okay, so let's find pieces that we can then put into these layers so that we bring the pink in. We will not use all of this. I just thought it was easier to cut one of everything because then I don't have to go back and cut more in theory. Okay, so these 2 corners. Start with one of these. Just a heads up, I am going to take the last week of May off from live streams. He's been given a holiday week. I'm taking the week. So I will give you more info about that as we go. But basically, there won't be live streams that last week in May. So the first day is a bank holiday here, and it's Memorial Day in the States. Australia, do you have a holiday that day too? And then the Friday, I won't be live then either. Okay, we're going to tuck all of this underneath. Like that. Okay, now what? If we bring in some of the hot pink. Oh, we could you can kind of cut them apart. Is that what they've done here? Or are those the individual? Oh, they've built multiple pieces here. Okay, so then like this flower can join in, I think. Okay, Australia just has a normal working day then. That, and then some leaves. It's going to look a little bit sparse at the beginning because you're bringing in the contrasting color, and you kind of have to bring your background color back into the foreground once you've done this bit. So is this one? Yeah, so I want to take this leaf from that corner. So just keep going, even though you're going to be like, oh no, it's too sparse. It's too this or that. It's just because you haven't brought the blue back up to the foreground yet. We're going to do that. Okay. And then we might take these little ones and give them some motion so that we don't just have the flower die cuts in those corners. We can bring them along. And remember, we have this spot here. So I don't want this one to be anywhere near as big as those, but I could tuck underneath here. So that it's just smaller, yeah. Oh, it has no glue, that's why it's not sticky. Oh, Joanna says the first week back at school for Australia was just 3 days because you had Easter Monday and Anzac Day. So this week they've just gone to school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I think I could get used to that too. 5-day weekends. Oh, but Jean said in her neck of the woods, they just put all of the holidays into the school break, so you didn't get any extras. Boo, we want the extras. My mom's neighborhood had so many snow days this year that they've had to extend the school year. So now everybody's trying to rejig things that were planned for summer that won't be summer holidays yet. So we all get a little surprise here and there. Okay, I think maybe bring one more of these over here. So this then kind of falls a bit like cherry blossoms. We could have this one even bring a little bit over to there. And the inking on these is really going to help because they're much brighter colorings than the things in the background. Okay. Oh, or we could put it under here to bring that gap in, but I kind of like it here. Okay. Let's add in these elements. So was I going with this one down here? And this one here? Or did I want that one there? No, I definitely like this better. Okay. Let's start building on top, and that will help the pink not be so sparse. Oh, Amy has 4 very long weeks of school left to finish the year. Oh, no. That teeny tiny bit of white above there is going to help frame that. Shine, 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 shine. I got shine in all of the pieces. I don't really think I end up with a good place for that one, so that might end up going back out. So I have more space to work with over here, but I need pieces on top here as well.
Do we only have the one from the bus? Or we only ever get the one
Could do that one there. I think I'm looking at too many of the same sort of shape. So let's see what else we can do. Oh, and I have that camera. Let's go back to the camera. Okay. It's going to be a lot less bright if we add the ink. small things. Okay, so we have dots, dots. Yeah. So we can bring this still needs blue brought in, but I want to bring it down here too. So we're going to have a little trio here, a little trio here. Okay, that's all the blue from that particular set. Bring the purple in. I'm not sure. I still need to bring more blue to the top of this. So let's look at what options we've got here. And stars. Star stamps. I think my star punch is going to be too big and it's not going to balance with the florals. But little star stamps we can do. So it's been a while since I've used my favorite navy blue ink. Come here, Chip Sapphire. It's your lucky day. And I need a block. Where have I put all the blocks? Clear things. I should not be allowed to have clear supplies, because then I lose them on my desk and they're right in front of me. Here we are. Okay. So keep in mind, if enamel dots are this confetti piece that I use all the time and you're like, actually, Shimelle, like I'm spending a fortune on enamel dots and I don't want to be, get yourself some little stamps. You could even find them secondhand, because if you're buying secondhand stamps that are quality stamps, they're still going to be fine. Almost all of my Studio Calico stamps are secondhand. Back in the day when they had a 12 by 12 scrapbook kit, I had so many 12 by 12 supplies that I couldn't justify buying the 12 by 12 kit, but I really liked the stamps. And then I found somebody who really liked the papers, but she didn't stamp. So she would get her kit and then she would immediately put the stamps on eBay and I would just buy them. So I would watch for when people were getting their kits and then I would buy her secondhand stamps. And so I did that for a long while. I've bought them actually used and then bought secondhand, because there's two kinds of clear stamps, right? The kind that are a real bargain, super cheap price, they don't last. The kind that are more expensive are photopolymer. They are a material that's going to last a lot longer, and I don't have any problem with them. Even if they do discolor, which most of them don't, but some of them do, the ones that discolor still stamp beautifully. So it's fine. But then we can do the confetti effect with a stamp. So you just need a couple basic sets. You need some stars or some hearts or some circles in different sizes, and then instead of doing enamel dots, you just need an ink pad and that set of stamps, and then you've got two things that you're using over and over and over again. You don't have to keep buying more. Like enamel dots are consumables, these are tools. Make sense? Okay, so I've got stars here, here. This is too dark. This is matte. Let's go right on top of the camera. Okay, so that's my largest one. I just put my stamp cloth in the wash. That was silly. Let me just go grab something. This one will work. That's fine. And then we can go to different sizes and different textures to keep the confetti element going. So then we're just going to go back to the spots where we stamped those and add one in this size. And one more. Oh, Kelly she's got her stuff out of storage. She hasn't found stamp sets yet, but it will be interesting to see what has held up. Yeah, definitely. There is a teeny tiny little confetti circle with a music note in it. I'm going to bring that in, but I'm going to change ink colors. So, do we go to the lighter blue like speckled egg? I think we could do speckled egg. So you're just looking, because this background is very layered, if you've got spots that are looking a bit more open, just start adding little things in. Like that. Okay. This needs work. The rest is starting to come together. All right. These, I will say, when you buy your confetti stamps, or you find them, you need to keep their teeny tiny little sets in something, either in the original package or in your own organization system, because those teeny tiny ones are so easy to lose. And then you're like, oh no, I have to buy a whole new set because I've lost one tiny little element. Ah. Now this chipboard set had 3 of these little pieces. I don't know about you, when I get pieces like this, use them straight away or they're never getting used. Because if I put these into my storage, they're falling down to the bottom, aren't they? And they're so tiny and nondescript that there's never going to be something where I go, oh, I know what I need. It's that. No, not going to happen. So let's put them in straight away.
This percentage is that. And that's the bit we haven't got on our side. Yeah.
So we can do over there and over here. Journaling's going to be there, and I think I want to put a little bit of writing here. Do I? I think I can't make these work. They're just ever so slightly not going to work. They're not going to work. Okay, definitely putting gold along that diagonal. This needs another something underneath that moon. So let's have a look. Is the background getting too noisy? The Adhesive Avenger's been called in on a call, and recently I had fixed up my settings so that you couldn't hear that, but then I changed them so WB could do the live stream with me on Monday, and I didn't even think about it for today. So if you're getting lots of background, please tell me and I will see what I can do. All right. Is that too green? I'm just wondering. Oh, that's a sticker though. It's a sticker that's been down for a little bit. Can I lift it up without doing loads of damage? Okay. I just want an edge. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it because I'm going for this piece here. I've moved the moon. Tonight, minions, we steal the moon. Okay, Joanna says sounds okay for you. All right. Ready for gold? This still needs a little bit more. More. Okay, I don't have any more of those blue dots. What do I have? What could I add? I have teeny tiny stars here. What color are they? Purple, black, hot pink. I have royal blue dots, but I've used all the stars. So I think I can just put in a different kind of blue. This has stars in it that are red and blue. Let's see. How much confetti is too much confetti? Is there such a thing? Problem is that both the pink and the blue are the same size. I don't have a small, medium, large. I have a little. Let's use this red one. What do we think? Because that's small, medium, large. Then I could do I feel like this is actually okay. Doesn't feel too unfinished. The more of confetti school, you crack me up. Okay. Okay, and then maybe just one each. Okay, no more. Oh, it's funny that you say that. Auntie Caffeine says she never would have thought of using florals with these photos, but that it really works for her. The other day, he asked me, he was looking at all the different starlight layouts I'd done. He's like, there's a lot of stars, but don't you usually use more flowers? I was like, oh, I don't know. It just didn't seem like a show that called for lots of flowers. He's like, well, I like the ones with flowers. Okay. I'll do more flowers for you, but mate, no problem. You can have all the flowers you'd like, buddy. Okay. Teeniest bit of writing here, gold. Let's sparkle it up. Could add another round piece in here if you wanted. Oh, I could use the other side of this. Let's do it. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. To preemptively protect Maleficent. It's classy. Now, what I'd like to do is do both the normal gold and the rose gold, because we've got both pinks and golden tones in here. So to me, it makes sense to do both. Also, it's just more that way. Okay, so my normal gold is the fossilized amber. The rose gold is saltwater taffy. Shake, 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 Sonora. Yes, so the real gold looks gorgeous on the navy. The rose gold is going to look lovely on these mid-tone blues. Put some onto that bright pink floral work because then it's not going to look so bright. Good. That's it. Right, let's do some zooming in. So this corner is looking like that. Lovely bit of shimmer. So there we go. That is our layered paper with more layers on top. Now, obviously, your photos might look very different, but that's okay. So when you're trying to find photos to match this, look for, do you have photos that have lots of blues? But obviously, you don't have to have just blues because you can bring in another color. It will work just fine. 2 4x6 portraits will work well here, which means you could also have 4 3x4 landscapes. You could always turn it if you wanted to use landscape photos, and you could design this way. You just swap to have your title across here and your journaling along there so that the words are going the right way. Yeah, and just when you put your, so start with a block and adhere in the middle of that block, because then you're just going to keep tucking things around the corners so that the layers you put on top blend into the layers that are printed. This little notebook paper that gives us hidden Mickeys or hidden Pooh Bears, that has not been lost on me. I like it a lot. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Punch class participants, you will have a new video tonight. And if you have old stash and you want to learn to use it, you can go over to Shimelle.com and sign up in the very first post at the top of the page. It has all my current classes listed, and the one that you're looking for is January stories with old stash. So you don't need to be scrapbooking anything about January. I've had a few questions about this. So new pages from old stash, new projects, new life from old stash. That's what we're going with here. But for those who have done last year's year-long class called This Year's Story, I broke everything down that I was scrapbooking into the stories I had per month. So I just wanted to give that as context, that that's where I'm starting with. The punch class, I'm using all photos that needed to go into one of my Disney trip albums. For the old stash class, I'm just starting with anything from the beginning of the year and that I didn't do in Best of Both Worlds, so that gives you your context if you've ever done This Year's Story and followed along with me to finish my albums for the whole year. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video and you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome. I will be live again Monday at 1:30 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Well, it's not the same time. It's 1:30. It's the same bat channel. I'll see you then. Bye. Thank you.